Carlsen's Nightmare. Yet another Turkish player. Good to see. I think after this one, I'll try a couple of 3-minute games. Just want to get a bit warmed up. Knight f6. This is a move that I often see in simultaneous displays, and no, that's not meant as a compliment, unfortunately. The move is just not very good. It's a bit similar to the Grunfeld, but you don't get that weakness on c3 after e4, and this basically means that I will get a pretty free reign in the center. After knight c6, then d5 is also coming, which gives me even more tempo in the center. And I think I'll just continue in the same vein. Try and attack more. a4, and then if a5 as was probably more or less forced, then black will have some issues with the knight on b6. And those squares being a bit weak over there. I think now after ed5, I'll take on b6, try and keep the initiative going, and then bishop e5. This obviously cannot be met by knight c6 because of ed5 with a lethal pin. So bishop d7 is forced, and now after queen d5, I really have a pretty fearsome lead in development. Knight c6, and here I think I'll just try and add as much fuel to the fire as soon as possible. It's queen e7 now. Looks like almost the only move. Knight e5, queen e5, bishop e7 is not possible because of rook d1 with a lethal pin, and if queen e7 instead, I have bishop d7, which means that the king will have to go for a bit of a walk, which walks are generally healthy for you, but I don't think this one is. Rook d1 check, and now I believe king c8 is absolutely forced. King e8, queen b5 will be mate on the next move. I have queen c6. Apart from looking very ugly, at the very least I have queen b5, king c7, then knight d5, winning immediately. So he quite correctly goes king c8, which is the only way to continue the game. And now, yeah, after queen b5, I think queen e6 is the best way to fight. And I have to say, it's not quite over. Queen e6 followed by bishop c5. You can certainly put up a lot of resistance, more than I'm 100% comfortable with. Like, thought this would be close to over, but maybe I actually rushed it. I was just thinking development advantage and all of the positional trumps that I have, but the bishop on c5 is really good. This means that the advantage that I have is somewhat limited. So now I'm trying to reroute my pieces a bit. King b8 now, trying to escape with the king. I'm going to go queen d3 with a few ideas. One which is to go queen to g3 with a nasty check. But the other one, just as important, is to go knight to b5 once the king comes to a7 to force it back. And this means that he probably cannot survive for very long after all. Knight is going to b5, then the rook to d1, creating a nasty threat of rook to d8 as well. So maybe there is some sense, there is some logic in the world, after all. Okay, I'll go rook d1 first, maybe, just to make sure rook d8 doesn't happen. And after king d8, knight b5 looks very, very strong. Yeah, my opponent has fought really well after an initial bad opening, but I think there's just nothing here. Too many weakness. Like if you put the black king on g8 and the rook on f8, then he's only a little bit worse. But yeah, but the king as it is just hopeless. Rook c8. And now we're gonna see a very quick mate, I believe. Queen c7 is probably the only way to prolong it a bit, but obviously no one's gonna want to do that game now.